The New York City music scene is getting interesting again, but not in the way that most people might think. Because I'm not talking about The Dare. I'm not talking about Geese. I'm not talking about these bands that people already know about because they're not part of a New York City music scene anymore. They're just bands that are from New York. They're artists that are from New York or like based here or whatever, got their start in New York City. They call New York home, but that doesn't make them part of a music scene in the same way of like the micro communities that are actually going on in New York City right now. The big moments are about these small communities forming. They are about these people who are finding each other and finding their places in cities that they move to specifically because they're just like, I want to be there to be part of it. They want to like actually be part of New York. And I feel like as somebody who grew up here, my biggest complaint with like transplants and people who move here is because they're moving here to have New York City be a backdrop to their life, not become part of New York City's ecosystem. And that is where you find the beauty in music scenes, in artists, in creatives, in those people who actually moved here because they need New York to make their music be what it needs to be, to make them be who they need to be, because they couldn't do it wherever it was that they came from before that. And not because New York City is an interesting backdrop, but because New York City is what makes them better people, if that makes sense. It makes sense to me, but like that is where you need to be paying attention. And if you want to be finding those micro communities, those places where like moments are really happening, where people are thriving, where people are really like activating on the fact that like New York City is New York City, then you should be paying attention to people like me who are paying attention to what's happening in New York and people who are actually utilizing the city in the way that we're supposed to, which is for its creative magic energy.